Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with breaking news from the Vatican. In honor of the Jubilee of Mercy, the Vatican has announced that His Holiness will allow priests to absolve women who have had abortions if they seek forgiveness. Priests will be given discretion to forgive those with a contrite heart during the special year, which begins December 8th. Abortion is a grave sin in the Catholic Church. Forgiveness can only be granted by senior church officials. Deputy Vatican spokesman Father Ciro Benedettini said that the change would apply only during the Holy Year for now. In other news from the Vatican, Pope Francis recited the Angelus prayer on Sunday with thousands who had gathered in St. Peter's Square. The Pope focused his prayers on the refugees who died while being smuggled to northern Europe in the back of a truck.
Visibly moved, Pope Francis prayed for the 71 people who were found dead inside a truck in Austria. They were refugees who were hoping to make their way to northern Europe, but as they traveled under those dangerous conditions, they died.
Affidiamo ciascuna di esse alla misericordia di Dio e a Lui chiediamo di aiutarci a cooperare con efficacia per impedire questi crimini che offendono l'intera famiglia umana.
He then invited the thousands of pilgrims out in St. Peter's Square to pray along with him for the victims and their families. With the rising number of refugees, the Pope once again made an appeal, asking for the international community to act and help stop the persecution of Christians in the Middle East. In light of the beatification of a martyred Syrian Catholic bishop on Saturday named Flavanius Micheli Melki of Gasarta, who refused to convert to Islam during the Armenian genocide and was tortured for it, the Pope prayed for all persecuted Christians.
Anche oggi, cari fratelli e sorelle, in Medio Oriente e in altre parti del mondo i cristiani sono perseguitati. La beatificazione di questo vescovo martire infonda in loro consolazione, coraggio e speranza.
More news now from the Vatican. This past Sunday, the 88-year-old retired Pope Benedict XVI celebrated Mass with his former doctoral students and a new generation of scholars of his work. Pope Benedict has met annually since the 1970s with the Ratzinger Schülerkreis, or Ratzinger Student Circle, a group of bishops and scholars who earned their doctorates under him in Germany. The Schülerkreis gathers for a week of theological discussions. This year's topic was how to speak about God today. Pope Benedict did not join his former students for the discussions in Castel Gandolfo, but spent the morning with them on August 30th in the Vatican's Teutonic College, where the Joseph Ratzinger Benedict XVI Roman Library will open to scholars in November. In news now, more news from the Vatican. The ex-apostolic nuncio facing prosecution for possessing child pornography and abusing minors has died. Rome Reports has the details on the charges and the circumstances surrounding his death.
Joseph Vezayovsky, the ex-apostolic nuncio to the Dominican Republic, died at the Vatican. He was facing prosecution at a Vatican tribunal for possessing child pornography and abusing minors. The 67-year-old was under house arrest and was living inside the Vatican. Initial reports suggest that he died of natural causes, but an autopsy is currently being performed to determine his exact cause of death. The Holy Father has been informed of everything. They found him dead this morning at 5 o'clock with the television on. For that reason, it seems like he became ill suddenly. He was found by one of the Franciscans from the College of Prisons, where he was under house arrest. The former bishop resigned in August 2013 from his posts as nuncio to the Dominican Republic and apostolic delegate to Puerto Rico, after being accused of child sexual abuse. Once the accusations were proven true several months later, Pope Francis removed him from the priesthood. The opening day of his trial took place on July 10th, but he wasn't present because of a, quote, sudden illness. He had been placed in the intensive care unit of a Roman hospital.
Looking now at news from around the world, 11 cardinals are urging fellow church leaders to maintain the church's rules regarding marriage and strengthen Catholic education about marriage and family life. Their book, 11 Cardinals Speak on Marriage and the Family, is scheduled to be released in the United States on September 15th. The contributing cardinals come from Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa. The book includes essays and personal pastoral reflections by the cardinals. The book also urges extreme caution for those considering giving communion to Catholics who have divorced and remarried civilly without having received an annulment. Most of the 11 essays also discuss the situation of the divorced and remarried. The issue is expected to be raised again at the World Synod of Bishops on the Family, October 4th through the 25th. All of the cardinals emphasize the importance of marriage preparation, saying that it begins in the family with real examples of love, care, self-sacrificing, sharing, and celebrating together. And finally, in the news, we are beginning the month of September, and the Vatican has released the prayer intentions of Pope Francis. Let's find out what the Pope would like to pray for during this month.
During the month of September, Pope Francis will pray for two intentions, one universal, the other dealing with evangelization. His first intention is for the youth, so they may have more education and employment opportunities. The second intention deals with consistency, so that catechists may give witness by living in a way that's consistent with the faith they preach.
And that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.